mushy and you're you. Hello, you. And we're here at Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting with a WiP'n'Chat. Yes, I've already started whipping, so I thought I probably should start chatting. Let's dive into this. I am currently working on Baby Mikey from Rokari, and let's see, I've got an ephemera 3D tray. I've got a myriad of pens. This one in particular is Zodiac Shadows. Pen, 3D printed, light as all get out, but very comfortable in the hand, very light. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite pens. I've got some 3D printed tips from Dynamite Diamond Shop that I'm absolutely loving. I've got some make your own wall art. You know me, I'm using the patés in here. I am testing out Brains, Toil, and Trouble currently. An unbagging video will be coming shortly. But I wanted to have some thoughts and opinions and just some general, get a feel for it. You know what I'm saying? And I've got a plethora of other things. Like here's a Flower Designs Etsy shop pen here. Little Ouija board planchette situation. Some Meowa tips in my pens. I've got some Bees Crafty Corner papers. The fall plaid situation. And yeah, that's what we're working with. Let's dive in. I should start with some general disclaimers and information and stuff. I do want to talk about some small shops, particularly some experiences that I have had with some small shops in recent months. I am not going to be name calling out. I'm not trying to stir up trouble and cause anyone personal grief or anything like that. However, I will be talking about some experiences that I've had with some small shops and you know, just letting you guys know some experiences that I personally have had, and I want to talk about them because I feel like information sharing within communities is important to community growth and personal growth for both us as consumers and for shop owners as shop owners. You can't ever grow if you don't get constructive criticism, if you don't hear about experiences, if people aren't communicating and sharing their thoughts, opinions, perspectives. There is no growth. It's just stagnation, and we don't want to be stagnant. At least I would assume that most people believe in personal growth and having well-rounded perspectives. And yeah, so that's the benefit of talking about stuff like this, even though I realize that some things that I'm going to talk about are probably going to be unpopular opinions to some people, and I can't help it. It's my opinion. I'm sorry if it's an unpopular one. I do apologize, but we all have our own opinions, and they're not all the same, and we have to kind of be respectful of that. You know what I'm saying? And just try to, you don't have to agree with anything that I say or any experience that I've had or my opinions in general on anything ever, but I do ask that maybe you listen and you absorb it and maybe take whatever you can from it, and heck, if nothing else, then at least you have maybe a new perspective or a different perspective, something to reflect on, something to ruminate, think about, and consider moving forward, whether you're a shop owner or you're a customer. You know what I'm saying? Sharing knowledge and information is how we grow. So here we go. I tell you what, I've been agonizing over this because I know that there's going to be some people that are probably going to take things the wrong way. And there's nothing, I have come to the conclusion there's nothing I can do about that. There's no way I can say everything that I want to say and ensure that not a single person takes some kind of offense or takes something the wrong way or takes it out of context. So I'm just going to say what what I want to say and my thoughts, opinions, and experiences on some things. And you're just gonna, I guess, have to take it however you're gonna, receive it. And I can't really control that, So I must have started and stopped recording this video about 5,642,000 times. Is that even a real number? I don't know. But that many times over the past couple weeks, simply because I was like concerned. Well, I don't want someone to think I'm talking specifically about them. I don't want so-and-so to hear this and think I'm personally attacking them. I don't want, and then I realized I can't control that. It doesn't matter that this is not a witch hunt video. This is not a drama video. This is just me sharing my thoughts and personal opinions video, and that no matter what I say or how I say it, there's always at least going to be that one, and I can't do anything about it, so I might as well just kind of talk it out and let the cards fall where they may, because I can't control where they're going to land. Do you feel me? I hope so. I hope that was clear. Yeah, clear as mud, mush. Good job. Okay. So with that out of the way, and me stipulating that I'm not going to be calling out specific shop names and stuff, at least with regards to the negative stuff. I'm not trying to ruin anyone's reputation, livelihood, hurt feelings, but I am going to talk about some experiences, and I assume that if these particular shops watch this video and hear me talk about these experiences, they're going to know who they are. And if you take offense to what I say, I'm sorry. Then maybe the experience that I had should have been a different one. That's all I can say about that. But yes, I guess that's all I can really say about this before we dive in. So here we go. Editing mushy here. I think it's worth noting that if these shops were still in business, I would let you guys know who they are. But as it is right now, they are not in business, and there is no danger that you will fall into the same pitfalls that I did with these shops specifically. I support small shops as often and wherever I can. I mean, I shop everywhere, we've seen that on the channel, and that's dandy. But when I can support a small shop, I love to. I absolutely love to. Why is that? Because small shops are owned by people. They're trying to make their dreams come true, and trying to support their families, and they're doing the darn thing. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it. They took a leap of faith and started doing something that they loved and made a business out of it, and they're trying to make it work. It's their dream. It's, in some cases, their livelihood. It's their contribution to their family unit, their household survival in terms of financial and mental survival. And that's more important to me to support that than it is to line the pockets of big expensive companies. And when knowing that my purchase, a large part goes to CEO bonus at the end of the year, Christmas bonus and whatnot. I'd rather give that Christmas bonus to a small shop. So while I do shop anywhere and everywhere that I feel like shopping at, I like to support small businesses as much as possible. If there's something I'm looking for, I will look for it first at a small shop before I branch out elsewhere to find what I'd like. Now, I do have very specific tastes, and those tastes are not generally very popular. So when I do need to go buy something, depending on what it is, you know, like let's say diamond art canvases, you're not going to find me shopping at shops or companies that have, and let's face it, most of them have this sort of inventory: the unicorn farts and fairy dust, the cute, the stuff that's not dark, that's not gory, that's not edgy, that's not horror. It's everything else. It's Disney, it's cute, it's fluffy, it's wholesome, it's colorful, it's pink. And that's great, because a lot of people love it. That's why these businesses exist. That's why their inventory is full of it. But Mushy is a customer who has a very narrow specified taste, and it's not necessarily a super popular one. And therefore, I have a finite amount of shops for certain things that I can actually go shop at. But for most other things, like accessories and stuff like that, I can shop at a variety of shops, because most of our accessories come in like colors, you know, and stuff. It's like a color or a shape type of thing, and not necessarily an image. So I do get to shop at a variety of different shops for most things, and some things I have a very narrow, limited list of places I can go for what I'm looking for. But all this to say is that I do check the small shops first for what exactly I'm looking for. And if I can't find it, or find it at a reasonable price, or exactly what I'm looking for, then I branch out to other, you know, like companies and stuff. I leave the small shop arena and I go looking at, you know, corporations, companies, etc. But for large part, in large part, I would say at least 50% of my shopping, if not more, is done at small shops. So I do love and support them and want to see them succeed, because I want to keep getting my stuff. So there's no way I'm going to go bashing small shops in general, because I need them all to succeed so I can keep shopping there, because they have the stuff I like. And you guys too. I mean, they have the stuff we like and we want, so we want to see them succeed. However, there are some small shops that don't make it, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But I don't want to be a dream crusher, and that's why I'm going to speak about my personal experiences and opinions, but I'm not going to be name calling out, because unless such a time comes where I absolutely have to, for some reason, it's not in my nature to crap on somebody's dreams, you know. But there are some things that I think that we can all kind of communicate and share with each other, and become more informed and knowledgeable, and grow as consumers, grow as shop owners, gain some perspectives. And I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy if your discussion is a healthy, purposeful, respectful one, and not just to stir up trouble, then or to talk poo-poo on someone or something, then I think it is a productive conversation, and that's what I'm hoping to have here. So yeah, over the past couple months, I've had some negative experiences with some small shops, and I want to talk to you guys about it, because it's bothering me. It's bugging me. And yeah, I gotta get it out. It's like a toxin. It's like a freaking snake bite. I have been bitten, and I need to extract the venom before it totally taints, poisons, and destroys me internally, emotionally, mentally. my sanity. Now, I want to start off, I guess, by talking in some generalities and giving you guys some of my opinions from my experiences recently, both, and not all experiences. Let me just say, not all of the experiences I've had recently have been really bad ones. I'm having a great time shopping at Rokari. I am. The only, if we gotta like pick complaints, you know, just to show that I'm not like being a super boo-boo favoritism type of person, if I had to have one complaint about Rokari's products or anything to do with Rokari, it would be something that they can't really control, and it's not their fault. So Eve, if you watch this, don't get mad. I'm not picking on you. The static and the drills, which I've conquered for myself. I have found a way to conquer it, and it does not involve Crocs, Kristen. Sorry, I had to. But anyway, everything else, I can't wait to get up in the morning to start working on my Rokari canvas. I have trouble, I have to pretty much be drug away from my Rokari canvas, kicking and screaming at night. I don't want to go to bed. It's 3 a.m. mushy, time to go. No! No. Enjoying my experience. I'm enjoying the pre-order situation. Does it take a little extra time to get my canvas? It's not like I hit process order or whatever and you get the order confirmation and it's here in 3 days. It's a pre-order. That's how that stuff works. Time is involved. I can't be mad at that. Do I get anxious and excited and like, oh my gosh, come on, I'm watching it every step. Okay, she printed the label. Yeah, and then, oh, look, it was handed off to the carrier. And I stalked that tracking out of excitement, you know? But yeah, I mean, that's just part of having the pre-order thing. Another small shop I've been enjoying, and you guys, if you've been around the channel long enough, you will know, I am a huge fan also of Raven Diamond art. I have ever since, matter of fact, it's been almost a year. It's been almost a year now since I discovered Raven Diamond art for myself. And because I remember, I think it was Christmas Eve, we were playing some Christmas Eve video gaming, and I was deceased. My character was deceased, and so Sundown's character was still alive and thriving and surviving. And while that was happening, I was passing the time looking on TikTok, and I found this super funny, cute, amazing personality, charisma filled TikTok that caught my attention about a diamond art company. And then they were talking about dark and creepy horror type of themed diamond paintings, and I was like, wait, what? What'd you say? And I was hooked, and shopped my patootie off. I think I bought like, it was like, what, 9 canvases on that because I was so thrilled and excited. Haven't had a bad experience with Raven Diamond art. Not a one. I haven't even heard of one. I haven't seen one. I think the biggest complaint that I've heard or seen about Raven Diamond art would be that there are some people that do not care for the way that the, I guess, releases occur, in terms of there's a finite number of canvases, and once they sell out, they sell out. Sometimes they sell out pretty darn quick, and there are some people that get a little saucy about not getting what they want, due to, missing out on it, not being fast enough, whatever the case may be. And quite frankly, I'm sorry, but that's kind of, if you're one of them, that's kind of a you problem. I've been there in that boat with you. Could you come out? I'm not trying to diamond paint the underside of my nails. Thank you. I mean, I've been on both sides of the boat. I've been on the, haha, I got the one I wanted, na side of the boat. And I've been on the, it just got swiped out of my cart while I was entering my information, you SOB, side of the cart. You know, like I've been on both sides, okay? And it is what it is. It is what it is. There will be another diamond painting that you like. There will be another one. Heck, that one might even come back. So it's the way that shop runs their business, and that's their prerogative. And you might not like it, but tough titties, you know, as my dad would say, tough titties. But other than that, and the fact that I'm not the hugest fan of the AB kits, only because of the canvas ink saturation can sometimes make some of the symbols harder to see and read. There's like some dark on dark situations going on there that make it difficult for my old lady eyes, my failing old eyes, even with a light board. So I'm not the biggest fan of the AB kits for that reason, but like the quality is there and the images are there, and like the price is right. Like it's all good. Those are just some like personal little things, but like I said, I just wanted to say, like, because of what I'm going to talk about, I'm not showing favoritism or anything. I mean, I have opinions about all kinds of stuff, even the shops I really love. There's take alien putty, make your own wall art alien putty, for example. There are some formulas that they come out with. I mean, anybody who knows, you may have found me from make your own wall art, me being just a big old troll. A troll. It's a good troll, not a bad troll. I'm not like a mean, nasty, bad, like let me totally F with his day in a bad way type of troll. I'm the fun, good-natured troll that's over there just poking at him, and he knows it. I think they all do. They've come to know that, oh, yeah, that's just mushy. We don't even have to, like, read what she says. She's just being a goober. She's being an ornery little impish troll. But it's all good-natured and stuff. Never attacky. No, I'm not the attack troll. I'm the good, fun troll. I'm the ornery little twinkle in my eye, little impish smirk troll. I love make your own wall art alien putty. I've been very vocal. I've made a couple videos about it. It's in like every single TikTok and every video. What am I using? Make your own wall art alien putty. You get sick of hearing it, I'm sure. I'm a huge fan, and we're in good standing as far as I know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know though. I'm sus of what's going on. Like Karen and Brandon playing games with me. Playing games. The note in the most recent thing I got said K. It was initialed K, as in Karen. So, Karen, it's implied by that note that Karen is the one that packed the bag. However, when I confronted them on Facebook, okay, Karen said it was actually Brandon who sabotaged my package. And by sabotaged, let me tell you what these people did to me. Okay, I had a gracious, generous, a subbie of love, Jess, I'm talking about you, gift me some alien putty, brain, toil, and trouble. Okay, those arrived to my P.O. box. I open it up, and the first thing I pull out is a whole bag of pink stuff. Pink pencil, pink washi, pink little cover minder, pink candy. The candy was even pink. And I lodged a formal complaint on their Facebook page because they over at Meowa, they know very well I am not a fan of pink. And I know that was intentional. And the note in the bag was signed K for Karen, but she said it was Brandon who came in and sabotaged. I don't know who's lying and who's telling the truth, so they're both on my list. See, that kind of trolling. I'm kidding, you guys. I'm kidding about, I'm not angry. We poke at each other in a fun, sarcastic, you know, impish little type of way. Not ever in a mean, like, F you, you effity effer type of way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, having said that, I can't tell you that as big as of a fan as I am of Make Your Own Wall Art and the Alien Putty in general, I have my favorite formulas. There are formulas I absolutely love, and there are some that were total misses for me. There are some formulas that I'm just like, that's a pretty color, but I can't get down with it. It's too soft or whatever the case may be. I like the harder, drier ones. I don't have to like every product that they have to like their shop. I don't have to like every product they have for their shop to be a good shop. Do you see kind of the picture I'm painting here with my examples, you guys? Okay, I hope so. I hope I'm being clear. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Now that I've kind of set the stage for you guys and like where my headspace is at and what my overall general perspective is and how much I do love small shops and I do have good relationships with small shops. And I guess basically what I'm trying to say is that my opinions that are about to come are not based on like, I didn't like this one thing this one time, so here I go. It's based on actually customer service is sort of where it's at. Customer service is a large part of the puzzle situation. It's a large piece of the puzzle. That's what I'm looking for. And I've heard, I guess this all came about because I've heard some mentions over the last couple months. I've heard a couple people say things in the vein of, or specifically, I'm kind of afraid to shop at small shops because XYZ. And I'm going to tell you what the XYZ is, don't worry. But I'm kind of afraid to shop at small shops because XYZ. I had this experience and it kind of tainted me from like every one of them and stuff like that. But most of what I heard could be boiled down to pretty much one thing, and it's customer service and business owner conduct, the way they conduct themselves in groups and in social media and things like that. And it goes to show that having conversations and talking and how you hold yourself out, especially as a business owner, how you hold yourself out to the public really does have an impact whether you realize it or not. And I hope that if you have a small shop, I hope you do realize just how much your conduct in socials and your conduct in customer service and your interactions and conduct with working with individuals, whether they are customers or creators or customer creators, really does have an impact on your small shop. And who am I? Who am I to tell a small shop anything, right? I don't have a small shop in the diamond painting space, but we do have a lawn care landscaping business, and we do have a poultry farm that it's an egging farm and a baby making farm. So I mean, like baby poultry, not baby babies. I'm not over here just pumping babies out. I realized how that sounded. Sorry. So yeah, I guess this is what I want to discuss. I want to discuss some of my recent experiences and some of my opinions about those experiences and kind of get a dialogue started with customers, with other creators, with shop owners, anyone who feels confident, comfortable, and has something productive to contribute to the conversation. I would love to hear, because I only can see things from the perspectives that I've gained, and you may say something or have a different viewpoint that may give me a new perspective, and I can grow as a consumer, as a person, and in my knowledge bank from, you know, having this dialogue with you guys. So anyway, I've heard about people making comments generally about having a fear of shopping with literally any small business or a specific small business. And most of the time when I kind of poke and inquire, well, why is that? Like, explain, like, what's the problem? What are you afraid of? A lot of it boils down to customer service and, you know, customer interactions. It boils down to the person behind the business. And I tend to agree. It is my opinion that really how business owners conduct themselves in public, in socials, and in interactions publicly can hurt or help your business. I think that a shop owner's response to different stimulus can affect how people view their shop and themselves, the shop owners as people, and therefore, you know, it must be a tough position to be in. I find that it is, you know, not, you know, for the farm and the landscaping and yard maintenance. It's a tough position to be in because you want to be your authentic self, but also you're representing your business, and your business in some cases is your livelihood, and or contributory to your livelihood, and you want to make sure that it succeeds and it is profitable and, you know, helping you in your life and fulfilling the things in your life that need fulfilled, whether it's financial or emotional, mental, you know, is it a goal of yours, a feel-good thing, whatever it is. But you've got to also, you've got to cater to the customer base. Here, let me just do some examples so you guys can maybe see where I'm going with this, and maybe help me figure out how I want to say what I want to say exactly. So let me tell you about some experiences that I've had recently with some small shops, and here we go. A while back, I had an experience with a small shop that, you know, I ordered a custom canvas, and I paid for it up front. It arrived, and the canvas was not usable, essentially. There was an issue with glue, and the adhesive on the canvas was splotchy. In some places it was really good and would hold the drills, and in other places it was completely missing. And it was like that throughout the entirety of the canvas. It was very hit and miss. And so some places, like I said, no tack at all, and some places it was fine. So I reach out to the small shop owner, and I just politely, it was a complaint. I mean, there is no mincing words. I did have a complaint, but I feel that I conducted myself professionally and reasonably. I didn't just go on the attack. I wasn't like, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, you know, I need to discuss this with you. There's been an error with my canvas. You know, I'm not saying this is like, this isn't quoting, but this is basically how I feel the conversation went from my recollection. But like, hey, there's something wrong with my canvas. I cannot work it up this way. It's drills will not stick to it, and that's the point of diamond painting. So like, it's a not dysfunctional. What is the word I'm looking for? It is an unusable for its intended purpose product, and I would like a remedy to this. The remedy I was seeking was a replacement. I wanted what I paid for. I think that's a reasonable thing to want when you shop at any shop, small or large. You want what you paid for. And if what you got, you know, what you brought home or what came to your home is not what you paid for, I don't think it's unreasonable to point out their error. Hey, you made a mistake. This is not what it should be. Please make it right. Ideally, I would have liked to have had the canvas replaced. And alternative to that, if that was not an option for whatever reason, then I would have liked my money back. I don't feel that that was unreasonable. A refund or a replacement is not unreasonable. I handled this matter in private messages. I didn't take it public. I didn't take it directly to a video. I didn't take it directly to Facebook. I took it to the shop owner directly and privately. Okay, in an attempt to quietly let them have the opportunity to make the wrong right. I am human. I am not perfect. Is there something that I could have done different or better at this point, at this juncture? I mean, maybe, but from my perspective, I feel like I did the rightest thing. There are many things I could have done. Like I mentioned, I could have taken it straight to a video and totally turned on the flames and lit it on fire, you know, but I didn't. I could have taken it to another public social media type situation and lit it up that way and just roasted this small shop, but I didn't. I took it, I think I handled it the best in the situation that I knew how, which was to take it private without making a big fuss and making waves and involving people that didn't need to be involved, and, you know, given the shop owner a chance to A, own the fault, B, remedy the fault in private. And the first time that didn't really work entirely as I had hoped. Initially there was ownership of the mistake, which was great. That's a great thing for a small shop to do, is own their mistake. Whether they think they made the mistake or not, me, the paying customer, the person that is paying you, that is giving you profit, right? That is giving you profit, feels that a mistake was made. So owning it was step number one. Step number two, is kind of where things failed for me in this instance. Step number two is, how do we make this right? Let's remedy this. The shop owner was open to rectifying the situation. However, the proposed remedies were not, in my opinion, adequate. The proposed remedies were either I could accept a 50% refund, okay, or I could accept something from their shop, one specific thing that was not, it was another canvas from their shop. It was much smaller, and it was a stock image that they had, and it was about half the value of my custom canvas. And those remedies were not adequate for me. I was like, no, I want what I want my custom canvas. I want what I paid for. I want you to make this right. I wanted replacement or refund. Because if I got a refund, then I could go somewhere else and get my custom made correctly. Or if they replaced it, then I could still have my custom canvas and I could actually do it. But that was rejected, and that's kind of where we were at a stalemate, right? And at that point, I did have to take it to my channel, and I did have to say, hey, here's what's going on, here's what's, you know, kind of been offered, and I don't feel like it's adequate small shop, you need to do better. And it was at that point that small shop then reached out to me and said, okay, let me make this right. Let me go ahead and replace your canvas for you. I'll have it redone, and we'll make sure this time that the adhesive is adequate so that you can do your canvas. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I'll do this at no cost to you. Well, I would hope so. And thank you. So it did get remedied. However, and here is where kind of fault, step number 3 is kind of where fault, I think there was some faulty logic, some faulty errors, some fatal errors were made here on the shop owner's part, was this. So the shop owner took great personal offense to my review of the product, my complaints on the product. They took it to heart. They took it personally. Instead of hearing me say, small shop, you, as it, you small shop, not you individual owner. I wasn't saying you individual owner need to do this. I said you small shop. And I think the issue was that they didn't divide themselves. They didn't keep, I am me and this is my shop and we are two separate entities. I run my shop, yes, but like we are two separate entities in this matter. Because I didn't have a problem with the person themselves. I just had a problem with the product, and I had a problem with the way that they handled the conflict resolution to that problem. Does that make sense? And so, but they took it pretty personally. They let it affect them negatively in their mental health. Just basically took it personally. And I get it, but at the same time, I don't. There's got to be kind of a little bit of a separation, a little bit of compartmentalization. If you're going to run a business, you have to know that not everyone's going to be happy with your business or your product or whatever. And like, this is where I said it must be, I can imagine it's a very hard, and I know from personal, like our life experience, that it must be a very hard position to be in, because on the one hand, you are not your business, but you are the face of your business. So you have to keep it separate, but also kind of in some places intermingled. Does that make sense? Like, my complaint about the canvas not having adequate stick, that was directed at the shop. Shop as a shop, you need to do better. You need to produce better products. It wasn't an attack on the person themselves. In any regards, it got remedied. It ended up getting remedied in what I feel is the appropriate way, which was to replace my canvas free of charge to me. That did get fixed, and I was happy with that. However, what happened after was another, I think, misstep, and something that plays into people's fears about small shops. So not only is there a fear that like I could buy from the shop and then the remedy is whatever the shop owner says it can be, not if this was Walmart and I took a product that I bought from Walmart back for any reason, whether it could just be like I decided I didn't like the way it looked. You don't even have to have, it doesn't even have to have a flaw or defect. You could just be like, I got it and I decided I wished I hadn't. Please take it back. It could be like, I got it, I used it once and it sucked. Take it back and give me my money back. And they do. So, that's just how business is supposed to go. That's how it goes. I'm sorry. I know for some people that's rough. They don't like that, but it is what it is. That's how you keep your customers happy and stuff. Sometimes you gotta take one for the shop, take one for the team. But regardless, that did get remedied. But then after that, what happened next is, I think I messed up my drill somewhere along here. Did I stick an extra one in here? I think I did. You guys. I think I multi-placed an extra one. Let me just fix this. What happened next was a huge thing that I'm sure causes some fear to people who saw what happened, who were aware. After my issue got remedied, the small shop, the owner had some issues, medical issues, and did post notifications like, hey, I'm going through some medical stuff right now. And for a while was communicating publicly like, hey, this is what's going on. This is why things are behind, or you're not getting your orders, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But then slowly the communications drifted off and dwindled off until there was none. And people had placed orders, had paid money, and were not getting communication, and they weren't getting their product. They were sending inquiries in and not getting responses. And over time, it became apparent that they were not going to be getting their product, and they were not going to be getting a response from the business. And they had no choice but to start requesting chargebacks, because for all intents and purposes, the business and its owner poofed gone, with some, you know, with some people's money in their possession. And so scary. And to hear that a handful or more of people had to pursue chargebacks because the shop as a shop, and the owner as a shop owner, was not communicating or facilitating refunds or divvying out what people had paid for. That's scary, because that can happen. That can happen really with a big business too, but it more frequently happens with small shops. And so that happened. In the end, it is my understanding that even though it took many months, I believe everyone that I was aware of has gotten their money back from the small shop, who I don't believe operates anymore, or if they do, they do so very quietly. They're not really promoting themselves or anything. I know I personally won't be, you know, would not trust this shop. I would not ever do business again. It just, all it took for me was the initial refusal to adequately remedy the situation, and then the very kind of public disappearance of the shop owner with people's money in hand, and no communication, that just kind of did it for me. Another instance that I had kind of recently-ish, a couple months back, there was someone who was starting a small shop out of their home, and they were selling diamond painting, some specific diamond painting accessories. And I saw that they were trying to start something up, and they, you know, I wanted to help support them, help get them started. So I made a purchase, and I know several other people made a purchase as well, and there wasn't any problem. The products, I mean, they were inexpensive. So, and what we got were obviously very inexpensive, lower quality products, because we paid an inexpensive, lower quality price. So that wasn't unreasonable, but you know, it was lackluster. It wasn't, you know, I don't know. I would pay more for better quality of version of that item. And so it wasn't really, you know, I wanted to do my part to help them get off the ground, but it wasn't like a game-changing accessory. Okay. And that's all fine. That's fine and dandy. There was no problems with the ordering and the purchasing and, you know, anything like that. However, the problem then was that the small shop owner was on certain social media just really being overly dramatic, stirring up trouble, calling out names, making accusations, unfounded accusations, just out of the blue, really out of nowhere, very aggressive, very, very aggressively, and kind of made a bad name for themselves, and therefore people didn't want to do business with their shop because they didn't want to get involved with the drama side. Does that make sense? So earlier when I was saying, like, you know, to kind of, there's got to be some like level of a business, you know, and the person, you know, as being two separate entities. There are times where they combine, and the person and the business are inextricably linked in that way. I guess basically there are situations where you need to compartmentalize and be separate, and there are times when you are one with your business as a small shop owner. And this was one of those times where this person, the small shop's owner's conduct on socials, I don't know the whole story, and this is just my opinion, but it is my opinion that it contributed, if not the sole reason, it was a very contributory reason to the downfall of their shop. Their shop was not open very long at all. I think it was maybe a month or 2 or 3, and then it was gone because they got a reputation of being kind of nasty, a nasty person to come across, someone maybe to fear doing business with a little bit, because they were unpredictable, they were aggressive, they were confrontational, they were accusatory, and that didn't make their product any better or worse, but it made people not want to do business with them. So there was that experience. And then I also had another experience with another small shop fairly recently. Again, here we kind of go with where do you draw the line between separation of business and owner as like a person, an individual, and a business being its own entity, and the two colliding and being one. Because I had an experience where I befriended or was befriended by a small shop owner. We became friends and were on friendly terms, and I thought everything was fine and dandy, friendly. This small shop conducted business with other small shops and with customers and creators alike, just with everybody. There are some products that were really, really stellar, and in the beginning, as far as I know, it was several months ago, my impression is that the products pretty darn good, especially the products that they sent to other small shops for them to use in their gift bags or whatever that they sent out with orders and stuff. Those were all stellar quality items. And so yeah, I had grown to become at some level of friendship with the shop owner, and the shop owner was pleasant to deal with. I had placed orders before, been happy with the previous orders. I know another small shop who utilized this particular small shop for some things. We're happy with their orders, and that was like a big scale type of order, and they were happy with their stuff. And so I'm like, okay, this looks good. This is a good person, and this good shop. We're producing good quality stuff. Like, game on, yay. Let's pump this up. Let's bring this small shop up with us and give some attention and love, right? Let's help this person's dream come true. They got good product. They seem to be a good person, and they have a good reputation with other small shops. And over time, though, that kind of started to devolve a little bit. The quality of the product started to decrease across the board. And the product, the same price, everything stayed the same price, but the product kind of got a little more problematic. There was certain flaws and defects that were overlookable, that were still, you know, within an acceptable, usable range. But then most recently I placed what to me was a fairly like large order. It wasn't like super mega large, but it was a sizable order, and it was a very important to me order because I was going to be using it, and things contained therein the order for an event. It was pretty much the focal point, like a centerpiece to, not a focal point, but a centerpiece to my event. And I ordered hundreds of a certain accessory, and I was told, you know, I was like, hey, I have a deadline, you know, so I kind of need these before a certain date. I was told that I would have the products between August 1st and September 1st. And that's perfect. That give me plenty of time to receive the products, take a look at them, make sure everything is exactly how I need it to be, and start utilizing them for what I wanted to use them for prior to the event. And I was also supposed to get some other products along with it. And I got, over the course of the months, and I don't know if it's because we grew to be friends and they abused the friendship, just thinking like, well, they'll you know, Mushy will understand. Mushy will be fine with it. It's just Mushy, that kind of thing. Or if every customer was being treated this way, but I was getting excuses after excuse of why the delivery deadline came and went and my product wasn't even made yet. Oh, we have technology issues. We're having equipment issues now. Oh, we're having personal health issues now. We're having financial issues now. We got distracted playing a game and didn't get the work done. I made an error and typed the wrong thing on your item, and now I have to reproduce all that set of your item because I made a grammatical error. And now I have a problem with the ink. Now I have a problem with the paper. Now I can't get you this certain item that I promised you when you paid that you would get, because I am no longer capable of making that item. I can give you something else instead. So yeah, I was getting all kinds of excuses for months, and deadlines were coming and going, and I was running out of time, and I needed these products, or I needed my money back, basically. And so it came to that point. It came to that point where I'm like, okay, we are a month and a half, you know, or over a month, sorry, whatever, somewhere around there, over a month past the latest I was supposed to receive my items. And I haven't received them yet. You need to get them out to me now, or I need my money back. So they got shipped, which was not uneventful. The items were getting shipped, but I was also told times were tough, finances were hard, and more money might be required to have to ship some of the items. And I was like, no. That was already paid for. I'm sorry. That's your pill to swallow. So I guess my question is, you know, was it unreasonable for me to refuse to pay more money to have them pay, you know, ship something that I've already paid them to ship, and that they agreed to ship knowing where it was going? Does that make sense? But there started to become an animosity there because they were giving so many excuses, and I was becoming less tolerant of the excuses. And so an animosity started brewing, I think. And it got to the point where we got the items. The items came in that we had ordered, finally. It was a month and a half late, but it got here. And it was not the quality of any of the previous items that I had ordered, of the same sort that I had ordered prior. And in fact, it was, I hate to say, I mean, I don't know how else to say it was trash. It was trash. It was not usable for its intended purpose. It was fragile, breakable, fall apartable, just dumpster fire kind of quality. And I'm sorry to be so crass about it or brash about it, but there's no real other way for me to describe it. And so of course, immediately upon noticing the fatal flaws with this entire order, I messaged and said, I cannot use this. I cannot use these items. I cannot, you don't want me to. You do not want me to use these items. You do not want me to send this out to other creators and other shops and other viewers and have this item in its current state represent your shop. Nobody's going to want to shop with you if they get this and think that this is your normal quality, because I have other stuff from you that was better quality, and I have other stuff that was further back in time from you that was even better quality. Like, that's what I thought I was getting. That's what I paid for. That was the agreement, that was the expectation. This does not meet expectation. I can send this all back to you and just give me a refund so I can find somewhere else to do this, or you can make it right. And you got to do it quick, though, because I'm under a time crunch. You know this, and you're already late. And that's when things kind of blew up. And because they are a small shop, they are the only person I could deal with. I couldn't say, can I speak to your manager? Because their resolution is no refunds, no returns. No refunds, no returns. Doesn't matter how unhappy you are with the product. She could have sent me a box of dog poop and called it the item, and no refunds, no returns. I'm screwed. So, yeah, it's that kind of scenario and this kind of thing happening that make people afraid to shop with some small shops. So as it stands, to the best of my knowledge, I'm left with products that I can't use, hundreds of an item that I can't use. One item in entirety that I was promised when I paid and I never got, that they during the whole process became unable to make, but refused to refund, instead just added more of another product that I can't use. And there's animosity. Instead of trying to talk it out with me, and instead of admitting, okay, I messed up, I gave you something that's not usable, I gave you something less quality, I am so sorry. Instead of taking the high road and admitting that they made a mistake, or even if they didn't think that they did, I thought that they did, and I'm the paying customer. It was my business, my money, and word of mouth, they had to know. I was going to tell my friends, like, hey, don't shop there right now, because this is what you're gonna get. This is the quality, this is the experience I'm having. I've got a million excuses. They missed the deadline multiple times. They're refusing a refund or a return when I'm so unhappy with this product, and etc., etc. So it was almost like the small shop didn't care, and instead took it personally, took it as a personal attack, and were communicating with me at first, and did agree, like, fine, if you're really that unhappy, I will issue you a refund. You'll get it within 7 to 10 days. And that would have been fine. End of story. Thank you very much. That's great. Would you like these? Would you like me to send you your product back, or would you like me to dispose of them? And then within 24 hours, I get another email that said, I've decided against giving you your refund for XYZ BS reasons, some of which is like, other people haven't complained, so you shouldn't, you know, if they're happy with it, you should be happy with it. There's obviously nothing wrong with the products if nobody else has complained about it. To me, that's a huge misstep. We could use even a big store. You could go to Walmart and buy a grill, the same grill that 500 other people have bought. The 499 other people could have been happy with that grill, and you not like that grill for whatever reason, you return that grill to Walmart. Just because the other 499 people haven't contacted Walmart to complain that they don't like the grill does not negate your unhappiness. It does not make it so that you should be forced to keep that grill and not get your money back. Just because I was unhappy with, you know, with my product and no one else spoke up and said that they were unhappy with their version of the product, that is not an excuse to not accommodate me as a customer and my unhappiness with the product. Someone else's happiness does not make it my happiness. Does that make sense? I was told I'd get a refund, and then I was told, never mind, I take it back. And then they cut off all lines of communication and shut down their shop. So I was left with a bunch of product I couldn't use, no way to communicate with the shop owner and try to negotiate a resolution that we could both be happy with. And they have my money, and I have a bunch of stuff that cannot be used. And that I refuse to, you know, I won't even try to use. It would be an insult to anyone who received the product from me as a gift. And frankly, I would think if I was the shop owner, I would be embarrassed to know that that product was going out into the world representing my shop. You know what I mean? But basically cut off all means of communication and rescinded their offer to refund. And now I'm stuck, like I said, with a bunch of stuff that I can't use. And this was up until this interaction, it was a trusted by me small shop, and they broke that trust in an instant by refusing to admit that they made a mistake and sent me something that was less than in the quality department, and refusing to accommodate a remake or a refund, which at this point was getting too close in time to a deadline I had for these items, that even if they had remade them, I might not have been able to use them for their intended purposes. And it was it was their fault for missing all the deadlines that they promised to be ahead of. And again, who do I go to when the communications are cut off and stopped and the doors are shut, and I'm sitting here left holding a pile of garbage in my hand that was supposed to be gold, and it's garbage. When you deal with a small shop, you don't have anyone else you can really go to get resolution. In the end, I paid through PayPal. In the end, I may just have to try to resolve it with PayPal, go through PayPal and try to argue my money back, because the shop left me with no choice. There's no choice. If there's no communication, there is a refusal to accept responsibility, and there is a refusal to participate in standard customer service practices. What else can be done? And I think that to package this all up, and what I'm trying to say is, when I hear people comment about being afraid to shop at, like, oh, I want to try that, but it's a small shop and I'm kind of afraid to try. So many bad things can happen. Yeah, bad things can happen. They have happened. I've experienced quite a bit of it in the past couple months. But not just because there are a couple bad apples in the basket doesn't make all of the apples bad. And honestly, unfortunately, or I don't know how to view it, but you don't know. You can't know if your apple is a good one or a bad one until you take a bite. And there are so many apples that are worth biting. There are so many different apples, and that are worth taking that bite, because it won't disappoint you. It's been happening in the last couple months quite a bit to me and a couple other of my friends that I'm aware of, which is unfortunate, but I think it's just a coincidence. I hope it's just a coincidence, because a vast majority of the small shops that I know I've dealt with and that some of my friends have dealt with have been a positive experience, and a phenomenal one, with great products, great customer service, and they're run by shop owners who can understand that just because I say I don't like this one thing about your product, I'm not attacking you, and it doesn't diminish your entire shop. It's this one item, this one thing on this one item, that wasn't for me. It's just an opinion. It's one person's opinion, for whatever that's worth, which in a lot of cases isn't worth much at all, if anything. There are people in our shops out there that do know how to handle, like, separating that. Like, I'm not being personally attacked. It was kind of the product, and I can see where that's not for them, but that's just one person. These other 50 people love that. It's just these 3 people over here that don't. But, that doesn't devalue me as a person, as a shop owner, and it doesn't devalue my shop. It just is a product that maybe I should consider looking at and seeing if I can alter to make more people happy. Can't make everybody happy. That's something else. A whole other can of worms, but we all know that you can't make everybody happy. All you can do is do your best to try to make the most people happy, I think, is probably the best philosophy. But you guys, I know I just told you about some scary stuff, but I want you, don't be afraid of small shops. Things will happen, but they'll happen anywhere. But they can happen, they will happen, they do happen, but it's less frequent. Don't let a few of the bad apples in the basket taint you from ever trying another apple, a different apple in the basket, because that other apple might be the best apple you ever tried. And the apples that came off the same tree, also very fantastic. And I hope that made sense. I hope you kind of get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, let's support our small shops, but also, we don't have to take the BS from people who maybe don't run their small shops with professionalism and customer service in mind, with just who run their shops maybe with greed or with self-absorption in mind. Don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to share. Tell people your experiences, because you don't want other people shopping unaware. Have your eyes open. Maybe investigate the shops, the small shop owners. Look into them, look into their products, look into their reviews. Are their reviews good? Have they been around a while? Ask around, ask your friends. Do you know this shop? Have you shopped there? What's it like? Do you like their stuff? Do you like the customer service? Do you know the person? Is your impression of the person? Are they good people? All that can play a factor in, but you take a chance anywhere you go. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but vast majority of the time I've found it does. You find some real gems, Raven Diamond Art, Rokari, Zodiac Shadows, Ephemera 3D, Meowa with the original Alien Putty formulas. You find them, you find it out there. True Vampire Arts Crafts. Gosh darn it, Men's. Your shop name is like really close to your channel name, but True Vampire Crafts, her shop, many others. I know I'm leaving out so many. I'm so sorry. Carissa's Craft Corner is another good one. Bee's Crafty Corner. Release Papers, phenomenal. Magic Crafts by Cindy, phenomenal. Fantasy Sparkles, phenomenal. I'm missing a bunch. I know I am, but there are bunch of good shops with good products and good reputations and good customer service. They are out there. Please don't be afraid, you guys. Just talk to each other, communicate, let each other know when you've had an experience, good or bad, so that we all know we navigate the waters together, right? All right. Well, thanks for listening to me on my soapbox. I shall now depart my soapbox and get back to work on my canvas. Thanks for spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Stay naughty.